You have a song with MGK. You also have a song with Eminem.
Yeah.
Oh,
These guys are mortal enemies.
Yeah.
And somehow you are so talented that you are positioned in between both of them, and they're like, I still want to work with Jellyroll.
Yeah.
How do you manage that?
Man, the first thing is honesty.
Okay.
Right? You got to come into both parties honest.
How do you talk to M?
Well, so Paul is, and I always bring up Paul in interviews because I feel like he never gets brought up enough.
Paul
for what
Paul Rosenberg,
Paul
Eminem's.
Rosenberg has been Eminem's manager since Eminem's had a manager.
Okay.
Lifelong Detroit homie kind of shit. Like really cool inception story.
Yeah.
Cool story about Eminem is his I believe his publicist, his assistant who kind of runs the record label. I don't want to call her assistant because she's so much more.
Sure.
But he's had like the same 4 people around him for his entire career.
Wow.
Entire career.
Amazing.
So you don't really talk to, he's the wizard, man. He's the biggest selling artist of our generation. He sold more records than Elvis. You know what I mean? I mean, it's insane when you think about how big. You don't really get to see the wizard a lot.
Yeah.
But I've seen the wizard now and hung out with him, and he's a fucking great guy.
Okay.
You know what I mean? He's really down to earth. He's super honest, and he's very intentional with his words. And we hung out on video set for 12 hours.
Wow.
Just like dicking around. To show you his personality, he walks in my green room going, somebody shave me. I need some Gillette. He said, we can get you a deal there. And just fucking funny.
So that's
guy.
the first interaction.
So the first thing, the first one we had is when we're singing. I'll tell you that story too, but just let me praise Paul for 2 more minutes.
Okay,
He deserves it. Paul has always been trying to get me and M together. Every time I've seen Paul, he's like, if Marshall don't understand anybody else, he's going to get you.
Mm-hmm.
When he gets you, he's going to get you. And he's telling me this for since I met him when he was working with Yellow Wolf a decade ago.
Oh, wow. Okay.
You know what I mean? So Paul has been that champion for me the whole way. Mm-hmm. So Paul calls and he's like, send me the Save Me record. And I'm like, y'all mind if I tell this story first? Because it's hard to get into all
Please.
this.
Because
I don't think I've told this one like his. So Paul calls and he's like, send the stems to the Save Me record. He calls John Manili, my manager. Now, keep in mind, John Manili managed Jay for a while. So they've already worked. They have they're friends for real for 30 years now. Mm-hmm. They've been in the business together for 25 years. So he hits John Manili. He's like, yo, send over Save Me. I think Marshall wants to fuck with it. Wow. And that's all he said. So me, I'm like, you know how rap works. I'm like, I'm fixing to get an Eminem remix. He's just going to drop a verse in my lap one day. I don't know when, and I don't care. Whenever it comes, just thank you, God, And I had already told Kells that story back then. And Kells is a real friend. Where Kells is just like, yo, that's huge. Mm-hmm. Keep me posted. You know what I'm saying? He's cheering for me. At heart, his heart is like, you know what I mean? Yo, man, you don't have a problem with
Kells being MGK.
Kells being MGK. He's like, yo, you don't have a problem. So this is I probably shouldn't stamp it too much, but this is 18 months ago.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I get to the point, I don't think it's coming. Yeah. I'm kind of just like, it didn't happen. It's whatever, it works. And then I get the call, it's like, yo, it's going on the record. It's closing the record. I'm like, what? Second single, they want to shoot a video. Now, keep in mind, me and Kells we hung out at the Grammys. We had both lost, and we ended up on what we call the loser tour that night. We went to all these weird, crazy Illuminati parties. They felt like it was so fucking weird, dude. And we went to
baby
3 or 4 of them. It was no baby oil bashes. But I went in and we went to all these weird parties, and he had played me the idea for Lonely Road that night. So this is, 3-4 months after me and Kells have already worked on 2 or 3 records together. We're hanging out every day. I'm in LA a bunch. I don't have a friend out there. I only know him. Yeah. It's still, you talk about when I pull up on you, Bubba, you're my only friend here. What do you mean I'm going to pull up on you? I don't know nobody. You know what I'm saying? You're my only friend.
Well, that makes me feel less special.
No. I mean, I love you. I'm looking for my
too,
Bubba. You know what I'm saying? So me and him are hanging every day, and I'm like, yo, this Eminem thing's real. I was like, it's fixing to come out, and they want to do all this. Now we're already in there. Now on the other side, John's having to do straight business with Paul. Like, hey, Paul, Kells and Jelly have known each other for 15 years on and off. They were beefing. Jelly dissed him. I was a hater back then. It's a whole other fun story. Yeah. It's but they, they're buddies. And here's where Paul's a good dude too. Paul's like, yo, man, we love Jelly, man. Just appreciate you telling us. Yeah. Never got brought up.
Wow.
My heart is always to bring them together one day, because I see so much more of them in each other than they know. Yeah. You know what I mean? Now, I hadn't really brought it up to Marshall yet, because I'm still kind of glad that I'm still in that circumference to be able to have them conversations. But I do see like there's so much more in them than not. But like I also gave Kel some perspective too. It's like we all grew up watching Eminem take over the game early. Like if you got mentioned in an Eminem song, it was like getting mentioned in a comedy special. You were on fucking fire. You couldn't be hotter if you got mentioned in an Eminem special or an HBO special. You know what I'm saying? An Eminem song or an HBO special is what you wanted your name to be brought up.
I also think that beef between MGK and Eminem, like that verse from MGK was, I think, the most...
It's underrated, actually.
I thought it was rated. Like, I think most people looked at that and they were like, whoa, this was way better than I thought. And then I think Eminem's verse, I don't think people thought that he absolutely knocked him out the park. Like, I thought that the reaction to it was, this is more competitive than we thought it was going to be. So I think that MGK's respect went up.
Well, what's interesting is over time, it's changed. In the moment, I remember that being the response. And now when people look back on it, they're like, oh, Eminem ended MGK's rap career. Because MGK transitioned into other stuff. And so I think the narrative got rewritten that way. Well, but I remember in the moment, people being like, yo, I don't think MGK necessarily got destroyed. But yeah,
only thing I'll say to touch on this, because I'm on a slippery slope.
Yeah, you gotta be very careful. Just not.
Is everything Andrew just said right now, I want the Flagrant listeners to know he said to MGK, I watch y'all have this same conversation together, which I think is super cool. But here's how I feel. Look, man, they're going to get together one day eventually. It's inevitable. The world's a circle. You know what I mean? And I think that they're going to find each other's heart more than they don't. And if they never do connect that way, I think that it did more for both of them than it did to hurt either one of them. Whether either party ever fully acknowledged that. What MGK did after that, I don't think had anything to do with the beef as much as his heart and what his spirit was music. Because he technically dropped, I think, Hotel Diablo was the project right after the M beef. Don't quote me. But it was it was the mainstream sellout, and it was the Tickets to My Downfall that changed. We're talking about a couple of the biggest albums. They'll go down as the biggest albums of this generation in pop, in pop punk and punk rock, and maybe in rock and roll, like new music from new recording artists. In 10 years of rock music, I think those albums will be the biggest selling.
So that's the thing that, like,
let that one sit.
No, and I told him this shit too. Like, what I saw is him as a rapper, knew him as a rapper. Then I saw him become an arena acts rock star. And I knew that I was getting old because I was like, what is happening? What happened? Did you feel that way as well?
I didn't know when the switch happened.
But he went to arenas. And so something must have been resonating with the rock music on a different level than rap. I also think it's hard to be like an arena rap star. Like, how many arena rap acts are there?
You know, we were talking about this before, and
Eminem's like stadium.
Eminem Stadium's for sure. Eminem Stadium.
But like arenas around, like Drake.
Hold on, let's go a step deeper. Eminem's a +1 at most stadiums.
So he can do 2 stadium shows.
What? He's a +1 at most stadiums in America.
That's great. I mean, that's like Taylor Swift shit.
Yeah,
like
100%.
Wow.
Yeah, he was Taylor of rap.
That's crazy.
Yeah, even now, to this day. Like,
but let's like, what are the arena acts? It's like Kendrick, Nicki. I think Nicki's built like this unbelievable following.
Nicki did arena. She came to Nashville and
Travis
sold
Scott.
out on Wednesday.
Travis.
I don't know. Hold on. Who is Megan and Glow? Is it a Megan and Glow the package right now? Because they're doing arenas right now. Megan and Glow together are doing arenas right now.
But that's still packaged. Like, I'm curious, and maybe Megan's big enough.
Is red hot.
Yeah.
I fucking love everything. She is so Memphis. First of all, she's the best human ever. Like, when I met her, I was like, I grew up going back and forth to Memphis my whole life, like coming up under 3 6 Mafia. I was like, please let her be as Memphis as it looks. Let it, like, off camera, let it be as Memphis as I think. She is so Memphis. She is. It's like talking to Project Pat. It is awesome, dude. It is incredible how Memphis she is. But they're full blown arenas now.
No, they're killing.
Hold on, who in the backpack rap space?
Say again?
I hate to use that phrase, but like, who from that space? Suicide Boys are doing an arena tour right now. Whether you acknowledge them as rappers or not, I think they're sick as I love the Suicide Boys.
I don't know.
But I know they're doing arenas because we're on their ass every night. They're playing Tuesdays and Thursdays like us.
Wow.
And they're selling almost clean everywhere they're going.
Wow.
Oh, that's awesome.
I mean, it's just a rare thing. It's like, especially in the rap space, it's rarefied air. It's listened to as rap music is.
When they did the West Coast package, I remember they did like the... whatever they labeled the West Coast package, it had Cube.
Oh, I mean, when 50 went back
50
out.
went out and did it.
He was doing it.